It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Welcome to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Yeah, today we got kind of a special review what we're going to do. I've been going over the past archives of the last year so that we can kind of just let you know that we saw what was coming and we've been detailing it. And if you're not reading Freedom's Phoenix on a regular basis, you don't know. And we want to make sure you know. This is, today we're trying to get hold of Kathy Kelly. She's in Afghanistan. She's coordinator for Voices for Creative Nonviolence, and she's been a State Department employee that, great bio, and we're trying to get her. Sierra's hooking up. We're having communications problems, but we'll get her up. And I didn't really plan on having any guests this week, but what's going on in Afghanistan, Pakistan right now is rearing its head, and I didn't want to let this go because going into the next year, they're going to have a plan. They're going to, war with somebody. Well, this is what's going on. What we're going to do today is this is going to be interesting. I wanted to make sure that we had the ability to go through and show you just the headlines of what has been going on Freedom's Phoenix and in the world over the last year. Now, I put these into today's archive, and I also gave a link to the 2010 archives on the top of Freedom's Phoenix. Now, for those of you on video, you see here we got 2010 Freedom's Phoenix archives. Now, what I did is I put just the archives for January. From January through this year. Now, I want you to be aware of what's going on because it's plain we could see what was happening from back then to now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go through a lot of, I'm going to do it really fast because there's so much. I bet you in 2 hours I couldn't get through January 15th. And I'm just going to read these really quick so that you get an idea of what's happening. We've just made some decisions here about the workshop and everything. We just got confirmation today we're going to move. And we're going to a little 2-acre farmlet, here. It's in the city limit of Phoenix, and it's a place that it's called Sunburst Farms, and I've always been a real fan of this because it has the ability, it gets irrigation, we can grow crops, we can have our chickens, maybe get a goat and a cow. And it's in Phoenix area, and we'll do some YouTubes on it and give you some photos. And we're going to start doing some. We're going to survive stuff. We're going to lead the way. We're trying to be an inspiration and taking care of our family at the same time, so that we can continue to do the show. We can continue to give you the news on Freedom's Phoenix and such. But I love you, but I love my family more. That's just the way it is. So. Can we combine the two? Well, we're finally, Donna's the real estate agent here in Arizona, and we're getting a lot of requests from a lot of people are moving out of the valley. It's time to go. And because what sustains Phoenix, we're out in the middle of nothing, out in the middle of the desert. Phoenix is a metropolis, but you get outside, you go 10 miles outside of the metropolis here, and you're in the desert for hundreds of miles. So we're kind of isolated here, and we depend on water. So we got a year that we're going to lease this property, and we're going to make use of it as much as possible, raise some livestock, make some eggs, get our chickens going again, and then maybe some farm animals, do some goat's milk and cows, and maybe a little bit of building structures and some techniques, and test out some square foot gardening and so on. We're going to cover a lot of this because what's my main thing? We survive this thing. And hopefully we can chronicle this and kind of move into that. We'll keep track of everything, but we're going to go ahead and chronicle our surviving and our family and taking care of business. And hopefully you're doing the same, and we'll bring you a lot of the news on new technologies and abilities and techniques of being able, how much food can you produce in a small area. We got enough room here. We got, outbuildings and barns and all this kind of stuff, and real estate went really down. So we're renting, but it's, with the cost of our home that we're in now and here and everything, it's going to be probably a third less the cost for us to move it there, and we have a lot more opportunities. And we'll still have space for a lot of the meetings and the activists and so on. We didn't forget about them either. We've been looking for a long time, and we finally found it, and we're going to get it going on. Now, what I'm going to do is, hopefully this work. I've been doing the research today and trying to get just the highlights of, if you go to Freedom's Phoenix, you'll see that there is a method by which you can have the archives accessed of every newsletter that we do up to twice a day. We have an AM, and there's so much that's put on there that we got a PM. Now, we have the capacity to put about 30 to 50 headlines on the front page. But there's so much content so we don't have this big giant email in the morning. We do a morning, and oftentimes, probably about 80% of the time, we have an afternoon edition also, so it doesn't build up. This is due to, a lot of the stuff that's going on and the participation of a lot of people that have the ability to, share with us what's what. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just go through this and read the headlines. And I want you to keep in mind, this is just from January 1 to January 15th, 2010, just under a year ago. We're going to do this over the next few days and just go over the headlines, just so you can see that we have been tracking this stuff forever. Now, there's also, we'll go ahead and put in the contents listed by category. Sierra, go ahead. Is she on? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that. Are we going to try and do a Skype with her, or no? We're just going to do that. Okay, do we have her? Are you on there? Kathy?
Yes, thank you. Hello.
Kathy.
Hello.
Kathy. Oh, it's great to hear you. I'm glad we got you on because we wanted to make sure we got a dose of what's going on in Afghanistan. Now, let me go ahead, and I want to pull up your intro so that we can introduce you. Sorry we have problems getting hold of you, but you're in Afghanistan right now, right?
That's right. I'm in Kabul.
Okay,
the
now
capital of Afghanistan.
Now, let me tell you why I was interested in talking to you before the end of the year. The one reason is that what we're doing is we have, I believe, that they're going to need, it's like wag the dog. They have to have some kind of distraction from all the evils that are happening in our economy here. And what we have is, you that have, you're co-coordinator for Voices for Creative Nonviolence. And the woman that you work with is right. She's and it's a woman, right?
Oh, well, there are quite a few of us, actually.
Okay, well, Wright is a former State Department diplomat and a retired Army colonel, and helped reopen the U.S. Embassy in Kabul in 2001. And then she resigned from the State Department in protest of the Iraq invasion in March of 2003. Now, you guys are in a unique position to give us an idea of what is really going on there. Now, the first question, of course, is, are we making advances? Are we winning? Are we Americanizing Afghanistan? Or is that even possible?
Well, I'm here with a group of youngsters who are potato farmers in Bamyan, and this is quite a departure from their usual life. They get up sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning to get on a donkey and go out to look for scrub brush or logs that might be available. Okay,
let's go ahead and hold on. We're going up against a break here, and I apologize we got you late into this segment, but we'll go ahead. You stay right there. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll get right to you on conditions in Afghanistan and what's happening right now here on Declare Your Independence. You guys stay there. This is important. We need to know what's going on. We'll be right back.